Man, it's so nice being a guest and not like
having to be in control.
It's like even like I tell my dad, he's like, is it nice being a guest? I'm like, dude, it is the nicest thing on the planet because I don't have to I got no questions to ask. I don't have to do anything.
Well, even like rolling into that, I want to kind of go at it like with my interview style too. We need to know more about Wesley Studios.
Oh yeah, hammer them out. Let's go.
Okay, well, initially, I always gotta ask just who you are, where you're from. Like
what am I about, huh? Yeah. Who's Denzel? No, so I was born in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Yeah.
I moved here when I was 3. I started my podcast 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 because I'm at about 100 and that's 52. If you think about it, 52 episodes a year, right?
Yeah, exactly. And one a week.
Yeah, right? And one a week, so you get 52 a year, right? So 2 years ago, I was bored. And I got my first desk job, because I'm a mechanical engineer. So I had my first summer job, and I'm like, what do people do all day? I'm not a huge music guy. So I was like, how do I kill time? Because it was a pretty boring job too.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, podcast. I was like, okay, screw it. I'm like, okay, Joe Rogan. Who's Joe on? And that was around, I think that was only early 900 episodes.
Oh, okay.
And he's at 1,500 now. So that's I can't believe you can hammer out that many. Well, he has 3 a week, right? So it was 150 a year. Almost 200 a year.
Man, I would be overwhelmed with that much
But think about it, if that's your job though, right?
And he has a team
for me
him.
To do 3 a week, good luck. 2 a week is already
Man, I'm having trouble putting out 1 a week,
Yeah, no kidding. By the time you're listening to this, I might be on episode 160 by then.
Yeah.
No, but I started it because I was bored. I wanted to do something creative, and I just wanted to do something fun, and everyone had a YouTube channel. I'm like, I'm not doing a fitness channel. I hate vlog style stuff as popular as they are.
I saw you did have vlogs on your channel.
I tried the workout stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
That was for my bodybuilding show because I figured, okay, if I do well, it could take off. And they had 500 or 600 episodes. They had a handful of views. And then I was like, no, let's do a podcast. So I started a podcast with my buddy Albert, and it was called Eat, Lift, Live. Live, Lift, Eat. It was Eat, Lift, and Live, ELL. And it was a fitness one. So we interviewed our fitness buddies. We did 1 a week to shoot the shit.
When did you start that? That was 2 years ago, roughly?
2 years, summer of 2017.
Oh, okay.
2017? Yeah, because I just started seeing Tia when I started the podcast. I think we were just starting to talk. And then, because we've been dating for 3 years now. So then we started it, and then it was just too busy. I wanted to do it weekly. He was monthly. I'm like, no, we got it. You can't just stay consistent. You can't just upload one and then 3 weeks later. I know that's what you do. I'm not chirping you directly, but
I try to do it quicker. But yeah, sometimes it's a month. It takes
that's fine, right? But once you get the hang of it,
I just need to work on my schedule.
Well, scheduling's tough too, but then I would try and record Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So then my Thursday and Friday, my Thursday's editing to make the clip, Friday's a post, Saturday's the whole thing, save it, because it takes a long time to save too. And then Sunday is upload. So I've kind of got a schedule, but that's the tough part of finding one. But anyway, so he bailed. He texted me, goes, hey, I'm too busy for this. I'm like, all right, cool. So then I started doing it myself.
Yeah.
I did a couple solo episodes. I'm like, no, I want to do an interview show. This is the whole purpose of this is an interview, right?
Yeah, so you changed it to your own thing.
Yeah, and then I kept it as Eat, Lift, and Live, and then it turned into Wesley Studios once Tia kind of took hold, because then she's like, I'll make you a logo, blah blah blah, and I had so many different logos, dude. One, I paid this guy Squid Art, I think is SQD Art or something like that. I haven't seen his Instagram page in a long time, but I got him to make me as Deadpool.
Okay.
So cool. that was my logo for a while, and then it became I change my logos probably once a year.
Yeah.
Because then again, episode 100 is a whole new thing too.
That's good though. You're keeping it fresh.
I tried, yeah. Because so then it turned into interview, and then I slowly started building my studio in my basement, and then now it's kind of its final form for now until I get new. It's just the equipment I got to make better, but I like the look of it.
Oh, okay.
And then just because again, I want durability, right? I want to have better shit. And then so then I tried doing a solo podcast, but I only did 1 episode, and it had 3 downloads. So I'm like, all right, forget it. And I'm not adding another podcast on top of all that shit.
It's a story time style, just you sitting
me, Crystalia.
Yeah.
That's how I wanted to run it.
Oh, okay.
And then so that went nowhere. That was a horrible idea. And then I took all the colors and logo schemes from that, and then turned it into Wesley Studios. So now and then Whiskey Tango was a buddy of mine's Dave's idea, but that's a different.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
Just
realm.
that's just me and him. We literally record on Sundays, upload on Wednesdays.
Yeah, and that one's mainly just you guys shooting the shit and stuff.
Shooting the shit, man.
But where did the name Wesley Studios come from?
My middle name's Wesley.
Okay.
And then Studios was like I was trying to build a studio, and then it just kind of rolled off the top, and it also fits like the Marvel Studios logo.
Okay.
So if you look at Marvel Studios, a lot of my old logos, and like I don't know if you saw, I have my garbage can downstairs is that ice bucket.
Okay.
It has Wesley Studios on it. So it just fit the logo better.
Yeah, it just all worked.
Yeah, and it had the same color scheme, red and black, but now it's like a little bit more colorful and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, just Tia keeps changing it, so I'm like, all right, I don't really care. Like, I have no vision for that, so if she wants to go ahead, hey, we should do this. Okay, go for it.
Your thumbnail game is like on point.
Yeah, those are good. Hey, I'm
really good.
I'm really proud of those.
I
used to want to have it like Rogan's, where it was the words.
Yeah.
But that was on Canva, and then Tia got an iPad, like that dinner plate iPad, the one with the stylus.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she got whatever the app is on there, and then she was like, oh, let's do it this way. So then it was still us at the table, and then it had like the border around it or whatever, if you remember seeing that. And then now it's like an actual photo of me, and like it's an actual photo. But I'd still like to promote it a little bit more like how Rogan does, because I have like props and stuff downstairs, but I have no one to take the photo.
yeah, you were telling me about that.
I need an editor or like a producer to be there the whole hour and then control everything for me.
Yeah, so that they can kind of run things behind.
Garrett always volunteered to do it, but literally he's never home, so I'm not relying on him.
Man, he's a pretty busy dude. He's got a lot going on too.
Dude, he's doing apparently that comedy show he did killed.
Yeah.
The
one just the other day.
Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
So every third Thursday of the month they do that, I think.
Yeah.
She's had a list third Thursday of the month. No, but apparently it killed. It slaughtered, so.
Nice. That's awesome. I like going and seeing his comedy shows. They're pretty fun.
I haven't been to one in a while, but I've heard he's got a bunch of new jokes. Because I was hearing the same 10 jokes all the time, right? Because usually I hear the early stages of it, and then...
we got to test it out.
And then a month later, he workshops it with me, and then like a month later, it'll be on stage.
Okay.
But, yeah, I've heard a lot of his old shit a lot. But now he's getting the good stuff.
Yeah. Going back to asking questions, so
good transition.
Yeah. Did you have any like prior hobbies growing up and other things that you were really doing aside like weightlifting and shit like that?
Sports was big, and then I graduated high school, and then I kind of just stopped all sports.
Yeah. You were a big football player and stuff, weren't you?
No, hockey was big for me. So I played hockey all through high school, and then I played 1 year of football just because I wanted to try it. And I was
just to see.
Well, I'm athletic, so it was kind of an easy transition. Like my numbers were good. It's just where my football knowledge was like complete dog shit.
Yeah.
And then played 1 year of this team called Railer Express, the Transcona junior team, and that was a complete mess. That coach is the dumbest person on the planet. I think his name is Mike. I looked it up the other day, but I completely forget how dumb he was.
Yeah.
He was an idiot. And then golf took over. Like, I'm going tomorrow morning. I think I've got 13 or 14 rounds on the year already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I wanted to do golf vlogs, too, where you'd review courses, but that's... trying to golf and then be on camera and then edit that all together, too. Also, nightmare. It's so busy, dude.
You gotta, like, record, put down the camera, make your shot.
Yeah, literally. Or I have to bring someone with me that I can trust to video record how I want it.
Yeah.
So I think eventually once it's affordable, because like I'd invite Tia to film, but she has to pay a green fee.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm not paying 2 green fees to film this, you know. Like, I don't mind paying paying my green fee, but to have someone just walk around behind me and film is like, come on, like. But no hobbies. That was so weird. I don't have any hobbies.
Well, you were. I remember you were saying you were BMXing.
Yeah, years ago I tried skateboarding and I hated it, and then I tried biking and I loved it, and then I switched to mountain biking. I would do like the Whittier courses and stuff, and I had a really hardcore mountain bike, but I like taking a mountain bike on street stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd take it to the skateboard park and do a bunch of stuff, and then eventually like not that it broke, but then I'm like, no, I need a better bike for this, and then I got into BMXing, and then just got too busy, and because you like to go out every night, man, like to get good at it. I was pretty good, but like just too much time.
I'm trying to skate like as much as I can because like you gotta stay like on it.
And the skateboard's easy. Bike is tough because if I wanted to take it anywhere, I either rode it or I had to borrow my parents' van.
Yeah.
And that was tough too. But I'm like, skateboard I can throw in a backpack and hop on the bus if I wanted
Very
to,
true.
right? And it was getting expensive too, like buying a new bike and fixing it all the time. And I was like, yeah, this is just kind of wasting my time here.
Your brother was riding BMX.
Yeah, and then same idea was just way too expensive. He was breaking his bike all the time, and because we wanted to get good stuff, but the best cheap good stuff, you know, like what I $15, what's the best I can get for $15, you know? Yeah. And it just got too expensive, so we just gave up, and then now we both golf and shit.
And he skates now too.
Oh yeah, he was out last night too, I think.
I remember his little like transition from BMXing to skating. He would like show up to the park with his board, and everybody's like, "What the?"
No way, really? That's funny.
Your bike? Yeah.
That's funny. And then probably everybody just toasted him because he was bad at it at the start. Like, "You bring back the bike."
Yeah, you're better on a bike.
Yeah,
that's funny. So how old were you when you like moved to? Well, you moved to Winnipeg when you were 3. You said, right?
My family moved from my dad's job. He got a different job here in the city.
Okay. What area did you guys live in?
We tried that house you went to. That's the whole. We've been there the whole time, man. All 23 years of my Winnipeg life have been there.
What schools did you go to?
I went to St. Joseph the Worker, which was a Catholic school, and then I went to Holy Cross, which is another Catholic school, and then I went to Murdoch. What an eye-opener that was, being in Catholic school your whole life and then going to public school.
Yeah, that must have been like such a dramatic change.
I was terrified.
Yeah?
Oh, dude, like all I heard was like once I got there, because I just kind of thought it was like the TV shows, like the really underdeveloped TV, like where all the kids are just smoking cigarettes in class. And I'm like, oh, this is exactly what Murdoch was like. Cool. But then, you know, you make friends right away and then it's not such a big deal. But no, my kids are going to a Catholic school, like kindergarten to graduation. They're going to Catholic school. Yeah. Education at Murdoch is a joke.
Oh, man. Even just
if I tried slightly harder, if I did 20 minutes of homework more, I would have gotten like 100% in everything. Like, I can't believe like I didn't try harder.
Well,
my biggest regret is not trying harder.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely regret a lot of decisions I made in school and like
I was
academically. And
I was good
in
school. Like I never skipped class. I never just failed anything. You know, I was never like almost failing anything. I was always like 60 to 70s. But just for my career now, like being a mechanical engineer, like I wish I would have figured it out earlier, and then actually tried and like done all the right courses and stuff. Because I had to go back to adult education.
Oh, to like up
and get a physics and a math course. Oh, because I didn't take them in high school because I wanted to be a teacher. Okay. And then I did 1 year of education. I'm like, this is stupid. There's 900 kids getting graduated a year.
Yeah.
And even the principal of Murdoch at the time, Mr. McFarland, was like, oh, when you graduate, you let me know and I'll figure something out for you. But I'm like, then next year he wasn't even at Murdoch anymore. I'm like, how's he like? How am I supposed to trust that? So I was like, forget it. And then my dad's a mechanical engineer, and he obviously has taken care of the family our whole life. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go do it.
And do you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah. Or you enjoy aspects of it?
I can't get into it too much because it depends who listens. But I like the job.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
You ever love your job but you're not exactly a huge fan of where you're doing it?
Yeah. Definitely. What was your first like jobs and stuff like that?
I was at McDonald's when I was 15.
That was your first job?
Yeah.
And you rode that one out until you were like
I was off and on there. I think I was there for 5 years. I was off and on there for 5 years because it was so easy to be like, you'd have your job through school and you're like, okay, I want 3 shifts a week. I'm like, okay. What days? I'm like, and then like it was a pretty easy schedule, and like if you didn't want something, someone could take it for you. You trade someone.
Yeah, super flexible.
They literally just had a list of people that were like calling sick days. So if I called in sick, they would just have people that were like, hey, do you want to I need you in for 4 hours. They're like, yeah, okay, cool, see you in a bit.
Okay. Definitely a lot of like leniency.
Oh yeah, and if I wanted a summer job, I could just be like, hey, don't book me for the next 3 months. I'd be like, okay, cool, have a good summer. Yeah. See you later. Because there's 25 other people that are there that can do my job.
Yeah.
But then I was full time. I got the 7 to 3 shift. I fucking love the 7 to 3 shift.
Like overnight?
In the morning, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Man, oof, best shift on the planet. It was me and one of the other women managers. We were there by ourselves till about 9, and I was in the one in Walmart.
Yeah.
So then they're like, yeah, but you have to be available like all the time. I'm like, well, I'm not giving up my day shift. And they're like, so you don't want to be promoted? I'm like, God, no. I'm not making $1 or more to babysit.
Yeah, and to do so much more work.
I was pretty much doing half the work as it was already, because like
Okay.
it was because of Walmart, they can only have so many managers working, and if it's busy, like I'm the other acting manager.
Yeah,
So
true.
I was like, I'm not, forget it. And then like literally a week later, I got a new job.
Yeah. Where did you go from Walmart?
Subaru.
Oh,
I was a lot kid at Subaru, the one on Pembina.
Okay.
And then so I'd clean Subarus. Kind of like, you're like the runaround kid. They're like, hey, this car needs gas. Go get gas for it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And
yeah.
fuel things, move cars around.
Yeah. And then, or like, hey, go pick up lunch and stuff. I was like just the grunt kid. And then I did that. Then I went to school, did that part-time. And then I just, do a summer job at the engineering company, and then another summer job, and then another summer job. And then now I'm at the job I'm at now.
Nice. And where did you have to go to school for it?
Red River.
Okay.
There is U of M. I'm sitting so disrespectful. There was U of M, but I'm not smart enough for U of M. You have to get in with certain grades, where Red River is just like the first 50 students apply, get in.
Yeah, they'll just accept whoever's like.
Yeah, so I just got in because I applied, and you reserve a seat and blah blah blah. Because you have to reserve a seat, and then you wait a year, and then you're in the next year.
Okay.
So I waited a year, just worked the whole time, and then.
Yeah.
Then the next thing you know, you're graduating.
How long was your schooling?
2.5 years.
Yeah.
But it took me 3.5 because I failed something and had to redo a couple things.
Okay, so you had to go back like the next.
Because it's tough, man. But it sucks when you fail something. It's like prereq for everything.
Yeah.
So you have to take one course that year. Yeah. So you can't even have a full-time job. At that time I was in Popeyes, and they were just like McDonald's. Like.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm in class Wednesdays. I'm like, don't start me till 3 on Wednesdays. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go in for 3 o'clock after school, and then that job was easy.
Yeah, what was it like working at Popeyes?
It was sick when I was into fitness, but now that I think about it, I'm like, what a dumb place to work.
Yeah. I guess if that's like your thing.
Well,
like
dude, it's crazy. They fired me for being too honest as a salesperson.
What?
Yeah, so they would be like, a person would come in for like fat burner, and maybe they'd say they don't know much about fat burners, and I'm like, okay, so what's your caffeine sensitivity? And they'd be like, oh, like I can have hardly any caffeine. I'm like, okay, fat burners are like the strongest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
You need something else. And they're like, oh, wow, really? Oh, okay. And then they'd buy something else.
Yeah.
And then management would come up to me, and they're like, hey, why don't you sell them a pre-workout? I'm like, because it's not safe for them. Mm-hmm. And then he'd be like, well, they asked for pre-workout, or they asked for a fat burner, sell them a fat burner. I'm like, but I sold them the better option.
Yeah.
So they were getting mad at that.
That's ridiculous. You're being like a better salesman.
I know. And then sometimes they wouldn't buy anything. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Like if they sometimes people come in, they're like, I want a fat burner. And I'm like, then I ask them all the questions, and then it's literally leading towards like more of a pre-workout or like something else. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your diet like? And they're like, oh, well, I don't get a whole lot of protein. I'm like, okay, well, to help burn fat, you need to have a proper diet. So maybe let's get you some protein instead, and then come back in a month and try pre-workout. And they're like, no, I really just wanted fat burner. I'll come back later. And they don't get anything.
Okay.
Cool.
So your management was upset that you weren't like upselling shit that people didn't need.
Yeah, that they didn't need.
They wanted you to just make the sale.
Yeah, like to a point. Like obviously, like someone comes in and they're like, I need protein, and then I sell them the $150 weight gainer. Like, no, I'm not. Like, that's stupid. But then this one lady comes in and she goes, I need creatine monohydrate. And I'm like, okay, well, most girls don't take creatine monohydrate. There's a lot of water retention with creatine monohydrate.
Okay.
So you have to take it with a sugar source. So most people take it with like a grape juice, orange juice, because the way the bonds with your body is through sugar helps.
Yeah, the sugar helps.
Yeah. So, and like, why would girls want more sugar and water retention? Like, how creatine monohydrate's very old school, but it works very well.
Okay.
But you also need to take like up to 15 grams of it. Which is a lot, which is like 3 scoops a day.
Wow.
And for women, like the women already hold water more aggressively than men as it is already. Like when you get pregnant, you gain like 30 pounds of water or some shit like that, right? Yeah. So I was like, whoa, that's weird. And I'm like, who told you about creatine monohydrate? And she goes, oh, well, my trainer did. I'm like, well, that's an odd request for a woman to take. Like I would never like, and then I'm like, well, have you ever read into HCLs, which is... Oh God, I don't even remember what HCl stood for. It's a creatine that they stripped all the water retention out of it, and it's just the strength increase.
They like isolated the whatever.
Yeah, so it's more just straight up pills rather than like having to mix it with sugar and have 3 times a day pre or post work or whatever. So she's like, oh, I've never heard of that. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you go back to your trainer and ask if an HCl is more effective?
Yeah.
And then come back. Like, I'll sell you the creatine monohydrate, and then you can return it. Just don't open it. So I honestly don't remember what she bought. And then all of a sudden the owner was like, you called one of our trainers stupid? I'm like, well, I didn't specifically call her stupid, but that was a dumb decision. Yeah. And she goes, she's threatening to pull off our sponsorship, and she's a big sponsor. I'm like,
wow.
Okay, like, sorry that she's selling the wrong products to people.
She's
like,
giving the wrong information.
Literally, and I was like, okay, whatever. So they let me go, and I was like, I felt really bad for my manager because he was the one that had to do it. Because I really, really liked that manager, but also at the same time, I was like, I was just getting like finished, kind of getting close to another summer job, and I was like, whatever, I don't need Popeyes anymore. Like we were already kind of, I was. Like when something's over before it's really over. That's kind of how it was. I was like, foot out the door already, kind of.
You sensed the end was near.
Oh yeah. I'd been there for 3 years, and that company was not the same when I started.
Oh wow. I definitely noticed they like blew the fuck up.
Oh yeah, well, because they started doing all the what do you want to call it? The like the crowd that isn't quite bodybuilders, but they're just getting into fitness a lot more. The term is like, I think a lot of people call them like the soccer moms. Okay. And to me, like, I wanted to sell to the bodybuilders and stuff, right? The people that knew what they're doing. I loved educating people.
You were approaching it from like a professional aspect.
Yeah, and I loved educating people on, like, they come in and they're like, I'm just getting into it. I'm like, oh, awesome. Like, perfect. What do you want to learn, right? Like, I was really, really knowledgeable. I still am, but really, really knowledgeable about it. And then, they're sponsoring people that I was like, oh, really? Like, what are you doing? And like, nothing, the complete opposite of shit I would have done. But yeah, I didn't like that. I don't even think I've bought anything since I got fired either.
Really?
Since I left. Yeah. I just tell people I left.
Yeah. When did you start like bodybuilding and getting into all that stuff? And what was it that got you into it?
I don't even remember. I was always super skinny. Like, high school, I graduated like 135 pounds.
Okay, so like a little bit skinnier than me then.
Even, yeah. Well, you're taller.
Yeah.
But then, so like I was tired of being skinny, so I started working out with some friends, and then I was like, oh, this is like fun. Like, I was seeing results quick because like I was so skinny, but like when you're super skinny and put on muscle, it's really lean muscle, right?
Yeah.
So I liked it, and then I started reading more into it, and then I like started following bodybuilders on Instagram and started taking supplements. You gained
it as like a hobby rather than just like a thing.
And then I realized like how beneficial like working out, like when I'm 55, like I'm gonna thank myself for thank my 26-year-old self for like following a diet and not eating like dog shit, right? So then it turned into like I wanted to compete, so then I competed. I did 2 shows. I did the IDFA, and then I did the MABA show, and then that was fun. And then I did powerlifting because I wanted to just try powerlifting.
Yeah, just to see.
And then now I hardly work out at all. I work out to maintain. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy. Like, I just need to. Yeah. Stairs are tough, and I'd like to make them not as hard.
Okay. How did you get into like competition and stuff like that?
Just at the gym I was at, Shapes. There's a lot of other people that compete there, so I kind of was just making friends. And then plus, like at Popeyes, like of course they all come in and shop there, right?
Yeah, you would meet.
So then I just
people.
Picked their brain and found a trainer that I really like. I'm still friends with Albert Villagomez. He's the one I started my podcast with, so he was my trainer. And yeah, it was just super fun seeing your body change. Like bulking. Then bulking, I got to like 210 or something like that, from 130 to 210. Wow. Yeah, it's like literally gaining another human being.
Yeah.
And then I did a show, liked it, didn't do that well.
And you got into that show through your trainer?
Oh yeah, because he did shows, and I was like, okay, I did the one with it's called Men's Physique, so you have the board shorts.
Okay.
Because I wasn't big enough to be a bodybuilder, but apparently I was too big to be Men's Physique, so I don't really know. Their judges were stupid at MABA. That's why MABA's not around anymore. Because now they do the Van Dyck, which is much closer to how the Americans run their show. It's a CPA shows, which is a whole nother thing. But MABA is like a provincial show, and you have to get provincial to qualify for nationals. With Van Dyck, you qualify, and then you get your pro card through Van Dyck, and then you go right to the States to compete in pro shows. Yeah, it's much smaller, or it's huge shows, but they're much better ran than MABA. They make all the right decisions. They run it like the American shows, which is how it should be done. It even looks better on stage.
Oh yeah,
better venue, blah blah blah, whole thing.
What was the whole like thing like doing the whole competition?
Oh, Jesus Christ, what an exhausting day. So
Yeah.
so you train your ass off for 12 weeks. You're spending 2 hours in the gym a day, cardio morning and night, which is fine. Like I loved doing it, but it's just, you know, no matter how much you love doing it, like even my podcast, like there's some days where I'm like, I wish I never fucking started this thing. And then other days I'm like, man, I can't wait to podcast. But so it's ups and downs, but man, just that last week, like me and Tia stayed in a hotel for a couple days before the show because I had family coming in to watch.
Okay.
So because I was like, I need sleep, which I'm not going to get because you're so deprived of all your food the week before that literally, man, like we were standing at the hotel doors and like Tia's just a little thing, right? So I was standing there, I'm like twice her size. I'm standing at the elevator and I'm like, because I haven't had any water in like 24 hours.
Oh,
I'm
so
like,
you're getting like dizzy and like.
And she's like, yeah, are you gonna be okay? I'm like, I think we should get to the room right now.
Yeah.
So literally went and lied down and like, I would get up and just immediately head rush because I'd be so lightheaded.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly the most fun, but man, that day, like getting your spray tan, eating all that shit and hanging out with all the guys backstage and eating all of this shit backstage and then, you know, just making buddies and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Did they have like really good food and like?
Well, you bring your own.
Okay.
So I just had a backpack full of like super high sugar food because like when you're that low in carbs and food, when you have sugar, it spikes your insulin, so all your veins pop out and like it just makes you look so much more full.
Yeah.
And so I just had like peanut butter and rice cakes with honey on it and like Mars bars and muffins. And then lunch was Five Guys. Dinner was pizza.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't think I shit for like a week after that. I was just it was all just sitting right here. And then I shit. Oh my God, dude. It was a mess. But no, I definitely suggest everyone, like if you're thinking about doing it, just do it.
Yeah.
Do it once.
You'll never know until you just start
do it.
something.
It's expensive, but do it once, try it, and you don't like it, don't ever do it again.
Yeah.
Because there's some people, they get up there and they're like, this is unnatural, you shouldn't be doing it. I'm like, what did you think it was going to be when you're training for it?
Yeah, like you kind of signed up for it.
They're comparing us up there like cattle. I'm like, you know, you
so
signed up for it, you dumbass. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Makes me so mad.
Did you ever like do anything with like that Mr. Manitoba thing? I always hear about it.
That's what that MABA show is. That's where you get your Mr. Manitoba. But now because MABA's kind of not a thing anymore, the CPA Van Dyck show, I'm not sure if they call it Mr. Manitoba, but you are the overall in Manitoba.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think my show was one of the last years that they think MABA really did a Mr. Manitoba. Because I think the year after they did 2 shows. MABA did one in October and then one in May. Okay. So I did the March. Because I wanted to prep over winter. I didn't want to prep over summer. So that October show, I think, had like 26 people in it.
Okay.
So pretty much you signed up and got a trophy.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to do and just make a mockery of it. But I'm like, some of these people did work hard. I'll just let them have it.
Yeah, and let them have their moment.
And then I'll just roast them with my friends later. And then
was there a lot of like, not necessarily shade, but like,
there is.
People would talk about each other.
There is, but it's much more in the bodybuilding, and it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
Like, I won't drop any names, but a lot of like, it seemed it came from a lot of the GFit guys, which like I get along with them all. Like I have no issues with them, but like it just seems like they're very cliquey.
Yeah.
So like if you're not part of it, like me and my trainer were completely one-off guys. Like it was me and another guy with my trainer.
Yes.
But we were cool with everyone, had no issues, and like a lot of those guys I was friends with. Like I'm not talking shit about the GFit guys, but just like a lot of them are very like, oh, you're not GFit.
Okay, yeah.
Stick their nose up at you, kind of, you know. But
yeah.
When
it's
you have
like
if there's 200 people in a show and 180 of them are GFit, like that's just how it works out, right? Like
you know, somebody on Team GFit's gonna be probably taking it home and like
they win the trophy, they win the awards, but it's also just a matter of numbers.
Yeah,
like
strength in
you buy 200 lottery tickets, that's 200 more chances towards everyone else. You know what I mean? Yeah. But whatever,
that's pretty funny.
I've been at it for so many out of it for so many years. I just don't even give a shit anymore about it. But
yeah,
I try and follow it. Like I got close friends that still compete and stuff.
Okay.
So
you're still kind of like in the loop.
Yeah, because I follow them on Instagram, and it's still like I still like watching like Mr. Olympia every year. Like I'll sit and watch it and with a buddy or two and watch the Mr. Olympia, and then since I got into powerlifting, there's a big one called Big Dogs in Australia, and that's like all the biggest guys in powerlifting go and do that. So then that's fun to watch.
I always liked watching like the strongman competitions.
Yeah, strongman's big too. I'm not as huge into strongman, but powerlifting I really, really like.
Yeah.
just because it's so, I know what it takes to do that. And when like,
Yeah,
even
and, like,
for
the
me to,
aggression and, like,
even for me to do a 550 pound deadlift and that guy's benching that,
yeah,
like, okay, come on. Like,
settle down there, Hulk.
no, literally, like the guys are just freaks, man. It's unbelievable. Like someone can lift that much weight and like not collapse.
It's crazy how it's like humanly possible to even do that.
Insane, man.
know?
Like that guy Thor.
Yeah,
He did a strongman competition and did very well, but it was also his own ran competition, so a lot of it was kind of like, I don't know if that bench counted or not, but he's paying the judges, so.
Yo, Bradley Martin with the fake weights, bro.
Okay, that guy, man, is so dumb and so funny, dude. If you want a really good laugh on YouTube and in the fitness world, go watch Kenny KO.
Is it like the same, like, kind of?
No, it's this guy that trolls. He trolls.
Oh.
So he's balls deep in the fitness industry. That's where I get 90% of my news from with the professionals and stuff. But he'll go to Mr. Olympia and go to like this guy named Simeon Panda, who's a known fake natural. He claims natural, but like the dude's a juice head.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can just completely tell. And he'll just go up to like press conferences and stuff and be like, "Hey, so how long have you been on steroids for?" And he'd be like, "Get out of here, get out, leave." And then
when they do like the questions.
yeah, and he would just go up and ask like, how long have you been on gear for? And then he would be like, "Oh God, I hear this guy again," and he just ruins his day. And it's so funny, dude.
Man, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yo, yeah, it's so funny. He did one where this woman did a wall sit with like 19 45-pound plates on her lap.
Oh, wow.
But he called her out on it for fake weight.
Oh, really?
Because she's literally wall sitting and there's just this stack of plates.
Yeah,
it's like
massive.
like 900 pounds or something like that. So he's like, "Okay, let's do it in person. I'll bring my camera crew. You bring whoever you want. We'll do it again." She got like to half the weight and then it collapsed.
No way.
Yeah, and he's like, "This is embarrassing." Like she didn't even get close. And then she's like, "Oh, well, I was in a car accident the day before." And he's like, "Then why would you come over? Then why would you try and do it?" So he
sounds just like a sad excuse.
Yeah, he exposes so many faces in the industry, dude. It's so funny. I love Kenny KO.
I like funny, that kind of shit. I like people that do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like, you know how like Nelk Boys just ruin people's days and stuff. Yeah. That's kind of what this guy does, but like strictly fitness stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so funny.
What do you think about Bradley Martin? I don't know much about him other than what I've seen on.
I like Bradley Martin. He's got that's a dude who can turn fitness into like a multi-million-dollar thing.
Yeah, he's definitely really good at like enterprising.
Yeah.
You know.
But no, I don't mind him. I don't follow him too close, but like
is he big in the fitness game? Yeah.
I don't know if he still is huge, but he's definitely big on YouTube.
Yeah.
But so because he doesn't compete, he just makes content, right?
Yeah.
But did you see his video with Tom Segura?
I don't think so. No.
During Sober October, they were all trying to do something new.
Okay.
So what he did was Bradley Martin, Tom Segura went and worked out at his gym and did like a deadlift workout. But it's so funny just because like seeing a big comedian like that be normal and not just try and crack jokes the whole time. You know, it's entertaining.
It's humorous in itself.
Watch it, yeah, because they both did versions of it.
Okay.
So Tom uploaded one to his YouTube, and then Bradley uploaded one to his YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an entertaining video. I really like that one.
Man, I find you really like Tom Segura.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
And now that I'm not allowed to be a fan of Chris D'Elia, Tom's my boy now.
Yeah.
Well, because also like I was thinking about this. Like I asked someone else the other day. Like, do you ever have a celebrity? I might have even asked you this. Do you ever have a celebrity that or like someone famous that you just like you try and emulate, but like you don't even mean to?
Yeah. It
like,
just kind of comes off.
I was such a fan of Chris D'Elia. Like the drinks we're having right now are Chris's drinks.
Yeah.
Iced Americanos. Yeah. I tried one because of him. I'm like, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck it. I'm going to start I was like trying to dress like him. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to grow my hair out. Like all this stuff. But like, I didn't even really like think of it. Or, like
doing it intentionally.
Even like sometimes when I talk about it, like how he does I'll catch myself doing that and stuff. But then now that like I haven't seen anything of him in a while and I'm not sure if I ever will again, it's like Tom is the guy who makes me laugh the most. His podcast Your Mom's House just kills me, dude.
Yeah, and you're like frequent on that. You were saying you like
dude,
I
don't miss an episode, man. I haven't missed an episode probably since like when I started listening, like 410 or something like that.
Okay.
And they're almost at like 600 now, and I have not missed an episode.
How did you like find all those guys?
Well, you listen to Joe first, and those guys are all buddies with Rogan.
Okay, so you just saw them coming on.
And then when you download Rogan, it says people also downloaded, and then it gives you Fighter and the Kid.
Yeah.
Your Mom's House.
Everybody from that little comedy circle.
Yeah, D'Elia. Shit, who else do I listen to? Here, I'll go through them all.
So it all kind of stemmed from Joe?
Probably, yeah. I'd probably give Joe most of that credit. Yeah, Joe Rogan, Whiskey Ginger with Andrew Santino this past weekend. Steve-O's Wild Ride, Spittin' Chicklets, but that's not from them. Your Mom's House, Fighter and the Kid, Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Two Bears, One Cave is probably the best podcast on the planet right now.
Yeah, that one's really good, man. It's funny.
Honeydew with Ryan Sickler, I'll listen to every once in a while. All depends on what guests they have on.
Yeah.
Because some like Delia's, they just talk shit for an hour, and it's funny. It's pretty much just him rifling bits off, right?
I would watch like the full podcast most of the time, and it's just hilarious.
And then sometimes like Your Mom's House, like I'll listen to it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan, but then a guy like Ryan Sickler, I won't, or like Andrew Santino, big fan of Andrew Santino, but not all of his guests are entertaining to me.
Yeah, and I find that's Whiskey Ginger. Right?
Yeah.
I find like some of the episodes it's hard to like.
Well, he had Brad Garrett on, and I'm like, I'm not a fan of Brad Garrett. Why am I gonna sit here and listen to this?
Okay,
I don't give a shit what he has to say.
I find though with Steve-O's, regardless of the guest, I always want to kind of check it out.
I listen to most of Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
But I'm not that I'm not a Tommy Lee fan, but like he was on Your Mom's House, but I'd rather listen to Tom interview him than Steve-O interview him.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I'm such a huge Steve-O fan that I listen to it.
Yeah, that's what draws me to his podcast. I like listening to him talk.
Exactly.
Share his stories and shit like that. It's funny.
And the guy's just he's a kind of a bad interviewer, Steve-O.
Yeah,
but
you can tell he's just like.
But he's also like getting better because because he always says how uncomfortable he is in that area, and I'm like, then why start a podcast, man? Like,
yeah, if you're not really like a super social person,
it
may not be the best thing.
He's so famous that he can get anyone on there he wants.
Well, that's what he says. I can't remember whose podcast or interview he was in, but he's like, I just wanted to like manipulate my ability to get my celebrity friends on there. Like
what Rogan does. Like the fact that Rogan can have half the guests that he has on, like Post Malone.
Yeah, and like, man, he'll get a fucking astrophysicist, and then the next day it's Riff Raff.
Yeah.
Just he has everybody on there.
Dude, you want to listen to a good Riff Raff episode? Theo Vaughn had Riff Raff on.
Oh,
and they both have mullets. They both wear jean jackets, and they both wear those Vaughn zippers, sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
And they're both like the same, like, I had a cousin once that swallowed 14 pennies, and like it's such nonsense, and like they're riffing the whole time. Dude, it's so funny.
Fucking Theo Vaughn on, I think it was H3.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
So funny how he's like, they're asking, they're talking about like Christmas and Christmas gifts and stuff like that. Yeah. And out of nowhere, Theo Vaughn, that's
like
really
they're the
good.
same person, man.
Headband.
It's so funny, dude. But, 1.3 million views.
Man, out of nowhere, like when they're talking about it, Theo Vaughn's like, yeah, we got a lot of like I got measuring cups for Christmas.
Yeah, it's all fake. Like, there's no way none of this is true.
He's like, I really liked like small increments of measuring.
He's such a goof, dude. H3 is another one I listen to, but only depending on what guest they have on.
I like listening to their solo episodes.
But really,
him and Hila and
Ethan.
Well, and the
producer or whatever.
The intern,
yeah.
Dan and Zach. Like,
okay.
It when all of them kind of do their own.
Yeah, I much prefer when they have guests on.
Yeah, and they have a lot.
But I think
they're
turning away though from guests because I haven't seen a guest on in a while.
Well, because COVID and stuff, they're taking it
They're
taking it crazy seriously.
That's good. Well, because also they're down in LA, right? Like
they just had a kid, and
I took a hiatus from my show while it was phase 1.
Yeah.
And I think even through phase 2, I might have not done it because I stopped in February, had 5 episodes banked, and then uploaded those 5, got to episode 99, and then I think I took like 5 or 6 weeks off.
Oh, yeah.
And then dropped episode 100 when I could have guests over again. But it was just easier to it was a nice break too, man. I really enjoyed not having to promote anything and just...
Well, and it gives you time to more like prepare and think about things and line up the schedule and like, you know.
And just to restart, it was kind of like a fresh episode 100. It's almost like starting episode 1 again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But now there's 100 under my belt. I'm not doing number 1, right?
Yeah.
I got the following already. I have all the people listening and waiting. Yeah. So it was nice. It was a nice break. And then I started Whiskey Tango in the meantime, and that was a nice little... But I never want to have to do a Zoom interview again. I hate Zoom interviews.
Yeah, what was it exactly about Zoom interviews that you liked? I can't remember.
Well, the whole point I have people on my show is to sit down and have coffee or have a liquor drink or, sit face to face. But over the screen, like,
it's just not
that puts a lot of pressure on the guest. Like, hey, the guest has to download Zoom. Do they have a mic?
Yeah.
Can they set up
They
their
gotta
mic?
find a nice clean area. And
Yeah,
like,
they have to sit down for an hour. Where like I put together a studio for people to come over and shoot the shit with me.
yeah.
And if I can't have them over, then that's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
I did appreciate how easy Zoom was though. Like the second you hit record, it gives you the video and the audio.
Yeah.
So you know how like when we edit, we have to bring in the audio ourselves.
Mhm.
It's done.
Yeah.
Your audio is
That's
the same as
definitely such a bonus.
It's very easy, and you can bring it into GarageBand and edit it if you want, and like
Yeah.
add an intro and whatever. But I just save. It's an iMovie. You can save as video, and then there's an option for just audio.
Yeah.
So that's just what I did after a while, and I don't even think I add a theme song anymore. I'm just too lazy.
Yeah. Fuck
Do you have a theme song yet for anything?
Well, my buddy, Riley, Lil Night Vision. He sent me.
People come up with this shit.
Oh yeah, the name, man.
My favorite one has been so far. It was with Max. They had a buddy, Oh So Slick.
Okay.
I love Oh So Slick. That's such a good name.
But yeah, Riley, he's a producer, and he gave me. Well, he didn't give me, but he let me use just one song. And
yeah.
I just have it kind of like fade in and then fade.
Oh
out.
yeah. That's
The beginning and the end.
yeah.
But
I think mine's like 20 seconds of just music.
yeah.
And then it cuts down, and then my voice comes in.
Yeah.
That's how I usually do it. But I don't even think anyone gives a shit about theme song.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about like intro. I think just like.
I don't even do intros, man.
Yeah,
like,
me neither. Like the
so
cold
much easier. I'm
open,
not gonna
just
sit there.
whatever.
I'm not gonna sit there and like make my guest be quiet for 1 minute.
Yeah.
I like what Bobby Lee does it, but it's funny.
Yeah, his are pretty funny.
He'll sing and dance and then try and talk for so long until the guest is finally like, "Am I gonna talk at all here?"
Is
And
this
then
an interview or what's
it's
going on?
more of a bit for those guys, and that's
yeah.
funny. But no, it's so much easier just to have them over in person. And plus, like, I tried to build a studio for like people to come over and have like comfort.
Yeah.
Like I want them to walk into it and be like, "Oh, this is nice."
Well, they get that sense of like professionalism and like
yeah, that's where Tia came in because she's like, "Get lights."
yeah.
I was like, "Really?" She would get lights. I'm like,
And
"Okay,
speaking
cool."
of that, I forgot to set up my fucking ring light.
Really?
I just remembered. I'm an idiot. But I mean, it's during the day. Usually I'm recording like later.
Oh, really?
evening,
Yeah.
So I have to have it.
Yeah.
But-
I always record at 8, just because then if they're over for an hour, they're done at we're done and said and done at 9:30.
Yeah.
And then I can just go right to bed. Plus, then I
Yeah,
can come
true.
home, work out, get all my stuff done, and then I'm not like coming home and then they're over at 6 and I'm home at 5:15.
Oh, and you gotta like rush and set it.
Yeah, I'd rather have it all set up and done, and then I can go do screw off and do my other stuff, and then there's
Yeah.
nothing left for them to do other than just turn on the camera, right?
Yeah, you just go press the button, sit down, talk, and
Bingo.
go.
The easier it can be, the better. But then that's why I need a producer, but I don't have anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I like having this because I literally just like push everything to the side.
And that's like, well, you've seen mine. That's almost the exact same shit.
just
But I
kinda
think
push it
I think
over.
once I live with Tia though, I'll have Tia sit behind it and control everything.
Yeah.
I'll get a longer cord and then have a table off to the side because I'll have a whole
Yeah.
room for it rather than just
Yeah.
my basement, right?
Yeah, true.
Or like, because I'd like for the meantime before we have kids, like I can have an entire basement as my studio.
Yeah. You can definitely like have
Put up my own
the full
curtains
space
and
for
yeah.
it.
It just depends on how renovated the basement is we get, but.
Yeah, true. Well, if you need somebody to do some drywall and taping.
Dude, it's amazing how many drywallers I have. You, the FPS Dre and those guys.
Yeah.
And then I got a bunch of kids that went to just kids that went to high school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those trades that like don't know what you're gonna do, become a drywaller.
I have everyone but a plumber. I don't
Okay.
know anyone who's a plumber.
I know a couple.
Cause everyone's an electrician. I probably don't really need a building constructor because I'm not building a house, and even then, like it's just a company that does it.
Yeah.
So, but I think I have everyone but a carpenter or a plumber.
Where do you plan like on moving and like
Well,
stuff
shit,
like
like
that?
Tia works out in Steinbach, so we're thinking about Steinbach because it's just so cheap to live there.
Oh yeah.
But the only problem is that my work currently is a 35-minute drive from my house.
Oh.
And then Steinbach to Winnipeg is a 40-minute drive. And that's
Yeah.
over an hour there and then over an hour home.
Yeah,
No
it'd be like an
chance.
hour and a half commute
But
to and from.
But
like,
the housing market in
Right.
Transcona, because like we kind of like would be nice to live near grandkids or like
Yeah.
but like where grandparents would be, right?
Yeah, and that's your neighborhood you grew up in.
And that's what I
like,
mean, yeah. And I like Transcona. Like it's getting much better because there's
Yeah.
like it's like 90% Filipino now. So like
Oh,
all those hood rat kids are all either left or they're all done being hood rats.
Yeah, they all
you know what I
moved
mean?
on.
Yeah, they've all grown up a little bit, I guess. But the housing market, like man, like we can get a house in Transcona for $275 and it's like 900 square feet. 2 bedroom, 2 or 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, unfinished basement.
Yeah.
So,
it's a
and
lot
then in
cheaper.
Steinbach you can go. Balls are riding up here. In Steinbach you can go and get, for $275,000 you get a 1,300 square foot house, 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, like show home.
Yeah.
For the same price.
I remember even just when I was looking for apartments to rent, a lot of them would come up and I would just look at them just to look, and it's like, $800, 3 bedroom, newly renovated, fucking huge places.
Like attached garage, 3 car parking. You're in there's not the picture of the house I like. There wasn't even a backyard yet.
Oh wow.
And there's so many grants and stuff. Like there's a grant where the government pays your down payment.
Oh.
They give you whatever your down payment is. I think they give you between 5 and 10. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But they give you the down payment, and then you have to pay it off by the time you sell the house or in 25 years.
Okay.
So
but it's probably way more lenient than doing it through the bank and stuff like that too.
It's 0%, I think.
That's
But then you just have to pay it back, but you pay it back what the house is valued at when you sell.
Oh.
So if I buy
okay.
$275,000 house, but it's valued at 410 when I move, I'm paying back 10% on 410, not 275.
Yeah.
But you know how easy it is for like the next 25 years to put $100 away a paycheck for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's just take it out.
It's
like
easy to work at that.
just put the extra to my retirement and then just take it out of my retirement. Like. But
No,
that's
true.
there's ways to do it. But right now, me and T are just saving our down payment for ourselves, because if we don't have to do that, we don't have to do that. But it'd be pretty sweet, like if we had like $25K total, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we'll just do it this way.
Yeah, because then it would just give you that extra
Well, then we have
boost.
$25K to like get a car, or we need to put a bathroom in, or
like do things like with the house or whatever.
We need a couch, or we need a TV, stuff like that. So it'd be nice to have that little nest egg, but it's so tough picking where you want to live, man. It's so expensive.
Yeah, and like trying to find something for your price, and then also in an area that you like, or like a.
I don't really care if there's
area.
a school around. That's not a big deal. I'm not living on a bus route. I would like an attached garage, just because I don't have a detached garage right now, and I would like that fact that there's an attached.
Yeah.
But also, again, not the end of the world. I like a decent sized yard, but we want little dogs, so I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about that either. Like, she's got a Chihuahua, and we want more Chihuahuas. Okay. So I'm not too worried about having a giant yard.
Yeah.
I can tucker that guy out in this room, let alone a giant
exactly.
backyard,
You
right?
run around the fucking room.
Literally back and forth for 3 minutes. That's a lot of steps for that guy.
Yeah. So you have any other pets like with your parents and stuff? You guys
they
have a dog, right?
They have Peter, but
Yeah,
Peter's such a piece of shit, man. He's such a rude dog.
Why?
Well, he was a show dog until he was 3.
Okay.
And then when he growled at a judge, which forced him into retirement from show dog.
Really?
Yeah. So then they put him up for adoption after, because like the dog's basically useless to them.
Yeah,
right?
if they can't
do show dogs, right? But he lived in a crate his whole life. Like there's no playtime when you're a world-class award-winning show
you're
dog.
always traveling. You're in your box.
You're in a crate. And there's no playtime. You don't get treats. You don't get nothing.
Yeah.
So he's just had the weirdest childhood. But he loves us, but hates other people. Like you saw when you came over, the guy was going nuts.
No, I didn't really.
Oh, maybe was he?
He was just chilling when I was there.
Maybe. Oh, I don't remember. But there's some, like, I've been dating Tia for 3 years, and like she's never pet him once.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't handle her. Hates her.
So he's not like friendly
At
all. Yeah.
All.
Does he take to your parents well though?
Oh yeah, like my mom and dad especially. But like there's sometimes where like I'll pet him and he'll growl at me.
Oh wow.
He just whatever funk he's in, he hates it.
Yeah. Damn. You guys have had any like other pets?
Yeah, they all died though. We had 2 other dogs, and then they get, I think one was 16, no, one was 15 and one was 17, I think, or something like that. Yeah, they're old as shit.
Yeah.
Tia's dog's 10, and even then, like 10, they start to just like.
Yeah, they're slowly starting to
He's
wither out.
blind. He can't do stairs as well.
Yeah.
Hearing's going.
Man, I had a dog at my parents' place, and fucking his hips started to go.
Oh no!
And he would just lay around all the fucking
Dude,
time.
I had a buddy that had a dog like that, and it was like $10,000 to like.
Holy
I'm like,
fuck.
why don't you just like, because they'll come in and out of numbness, so like
Yeah.
sometimes he can feel them, sometimes he can't.
Okay.
But like when you can't feel your legs, like you sit on them wrong, and then they cut the circulation off. It was just
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, like why don't you guys just like go get the surgery to like paralyze them, like do it on purpose, and then just put them in a wheelchair, right? And they're like, it's $10,000 to do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
you hit the guy in the right spot. Like you can do it yourself for free, right? Like I was joking around about that, but I'm like, you could do it yourself, right?
And don't get me wrong, like I love pets and animals and stuff, but at certain points, like you got to sit down and realize, like,
oh yeah,
it's like if I don't do this, like, you know, the dog.
I was talking about that. Yeah, I was talking about one of the whiskey tangos about like what would be the price that's too much to fix my dog.
Yeah.
And I think I was like $6,000 is
Yeah.
about my max. Like I love that dog, but $6,000 is like a financial burden.
Yeah, man.
Like that, like I would go take a bank loan and then just like, you know, okay, whatever, for the next few months we're just gonna have to just suck it up, right? But like if the dog needed like a cancer surgery, it was 10 grand, I'd be like, sorry, little man. Like,
well, and I also think about like the age of the dog.
Yeah, like
how long I've had him. 10.
We've probably got him for another 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
I'd give it, and then, you know, like they're like, okay, like we'll give it a $6,000 surgery, but it's got 6 months of life left. I'm like, no, just put him down now, right? But
well, I had a cat that ended up getting.
Cats are stupid. I fucking hate cats.
Man, I love both.
I'm allergic to cats, but I think the only credit I'll ever give a cat is that like if you left that cat alone for a year, it would probably be better off without you.
Yeah.
Where dogs are so needy.
Man, this cat had like a UTI or something like that. Yeah, so he was like, he couldn't piss because they said there was like a crystal buildup.
Oh, like almost like kidney stones?
Yeah, kind of. Like the cat version of that, I guess.
Oh, gross.
And yeah, it was weird. Like you would try to pick him up and it would squeeze him, so he'd like start pissing.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know what the fuck was going on. And we brought him to a vet and they were like, yeah, it's going to be like $1,200. And we're like, okay, like that's not
that's not horrible, yeah. And plus if you get like another 6 to 7 years out of the cat, right?
He was still a young cat, so at that point we were like,
do it, yeah. But then also like you could walk outside this neighborhood and I bet you could find 3 cats and just keep them.
Oh, yeah. This was when I was living just off Corden. Just over there.
Oh, nice. That's
like,
probably,
there's fucking 20 cats.
Literally.
In the back lane.
Dude, it's like I always think about Trailer Park Boys where there's just cats running around. Like, you want one? Just take that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a great meme. It's like the government doesn't want you to know this, but you can just walk up and take ducks.
Oh, yeah.
Ducks are free, and this guy literally just picks up a Canadian geese and then takes it home.
Man, did you know in England, it's actually like a federal crime to fuck with swans.
Really?
Apparently they all belong to like Her Majesty, like
I would imagine
the royal
in
family.
England, yeah, like they put them all there and then they just
and it's like a big thing. Like if you like hit one with your car by accident, like you're going to jail.
Well, technically, like remember at Bird's Hill years ago, you could fish at Bird's Hill.
Oh yeah,
there was that little pond that they populated themselves.
Yeah, they kept stalking it. Yeah.
Keeping fish from there was, I think, technically stealing because they paid to put the fish there, so it would catch and release.
Yeah.
So if you took a fish home and they caught you, it was like a fine.
Yeah, you had to like
that's crazy. Yeah. Like, I'm just taking a fish home. Fucking calm down.
I'm hungry.
Or even like in Selkirk, a lot of people fish along the river, but you're only allowed like 3 fish per person. But like people there will like put their fish in like their glove box and like in their car and stuff, just be like, there's only 3 in the cooler, we're just catching and releasing now, and they're like, okay, like, we believe you, and then they leave.
Man, when I was in Gimli, I was commercial fishing for work or whatever, and then like I was also hobby fishing, angling and stuff, and I would see people just like do anything just to take as much as they want home, and like, you know,
they would cook and eat it right there and then just bring home all the already dead fish. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I cooked it already, you're gonna throw it back in the water? Like, that's a waste of fish. Ugh.
Man, I love fishing though. Are you like
that was
much of a fisherman?
That was one thing I always wanted to get into.
Yeah.
I never, like, my aunt had an ex-husband that would take us fishing when we were like 8.
Oh, okay.
But that was fucking forever ago. But that was fun. I got buddies that do it, but it's another hobby that's just way too expensive, and I don't have the time for it.
Oh,
I don't have time to go out 2 or 3 times a week. You know, but like, I have buddies that they'll be like, hey, do you want to come fishing this weekend? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go sit on the boat with you guys and hang out. Like, sure.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll go to like, Tia's got a friend that has a cabin out in, I don't even know where it is, but like, he'll be like, he has a pontoon.
Oh,
so you
nice.
just half the time, like, he's like, let's just go sit on the water. So like two of us will be fishing and then everyone else just chills.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah, but I'm not an avid, like, I like doing it. I can do it.
Yeah. You know how.
Yeah. If you can know how to fish, right? But like, when I was a kid, I was terrified to touch the fish, but now it's like, if I catch something, I can pry it out.
You're
like,
manhandling.
Yeah, like I'm not. It's not an issue anymore. Well, before they're like slimy and gross, right?
Yeah. No, I remember like growing up, my brother caught like his first jackfish, and I was like, that's cool, but I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. Even then, or like my dad always says when he retires, we're all gonna go down to like Cuba or like get down there and go like sword fishing and like
that'd be sick.
And like sport fishing and stuff.
I've always wanted to try tuna
dude
fishing.
That's like where you have like the kidney pad and like your rod's like a 10,000 pound quality rod catching 900 pound tuna. And
I just think the fight would be so much fun.
You ever watch
just fighting?
Well, dude, like a 900 pound tuna, that's gonna take you like 2 hours to reel in.
Yeah, it takes people so long, and they gotta follow it with the boat.
And that fish is 3 times the size of you, so that's gonna be. I would pay money to watch you fight one of those one of those grouper fish or whatever. You watch those that shit.
Big fucking hard. Like, skins, like,
you ever watch
really
River
hard.
Monsters?
With
Jeremy Wade.
I think I've seen like an episode or something.
He caught a bull shark, and it carried him like 4 kilometers upriver, and it took him 2.5 hours to reel in or something like that.
Fuck.
He the only way he got it was he had to outlast the fish.
Yeah, you tire them out.
He had to tire out after the fish did. So then eventually they just brought it to more shallow water, so it couldn't swim as well. And then I think they kind of like just dragged it up to like to where they could hold it and it couldn't get away.
Yeah.
They took his picture, measured it, tagged it, and then released it. But man, like it carried a full size boat. Like this is Jaws shit.
That's
carried
nuts.
a full size boat 4 kilometers downriver. He showed a GPS map of where they caught it and where they reeled it in. Man, I couldn't believe how far away they got.
How far the drag
Yeah,
was.
it's unbelievable. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I think that would be so much fun, like doing that like crazy fight and everything.
I want to go sturgeon fishing too at some point. Catch like a 35. Like what are those things? Those things are huge.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of like massive
12 feet long, man.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Like the crazy thing about sturgeon is they're bottom feeders.
Yeah.
So like if you're in a lake that's like, let's say 1,000 feet deep or 800 feet deep, like that's a long way to come up.
Oh yeah.
Because you gotta unsuck them from the floor and then drag them through the water.
Yeah, pull it all the way up.
And they're basically dinosaurs, so.
Yeah, they are like prehistoric or whatever.
They've been around forever, haven't they? I like to there's so many like stingray fishing. I think would be fun.
Yeah.
Shark, even just catching shark off the beach. Like I see people do it in Florida.
Yeah, just standing on the beach.
Yeah, I don't know how they get the rod out that far, but I would be interested in doing it.
Yeah, just to try it.
Yeah, literally.
Fuck, man. I really want to do like ocean fishing. I think that'd be amazing.
Oh yeah. I'd like to swim in the ocean. Like I've been to Florida and stuff, and like it's pretty cool seeing like, but you forget that like things can hurt you in the ocean.
Yeah, it's still dangerous.
Because they're like the first time I went, they're like, okay, like shuffle your feet when you walk out there. I'm like, what? And they're like, well, because there's stingray and sea urchin.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh right, like you can step on something and then all of a sudden you're in the hospital for 3 days, right?
When I was in the first time I went to California, my grandpa, he had like a little beach house, and there were like teenagers and like a bunch of people that lived upstairs, and they were always like partying, and then we would have people over, and it was like a big party and everything, and these people this one person went out into the beach and got stung by a jellyfish.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was my grandpa. He's like, yeah, you gotta piss on it. Like someone's gotta piss on it, you know.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny, but like I don't know. I never got the whole thing with that. I think it's something to do with like the ammonia or like.
Yeah, there's a chemical in your urine that like takes down the swelling immediately or something like that. But man, that just makes me laugh, dude.
Yeah, just the whole like fact of it, you know.
There's a skit I watched. It's called The Piss Lifeguard or The Piss Guard.
Oh, he's just ready.
And he's just running around. He's just chugging water, and he goes, "Anybody get stung?
Yeah,
I'm the piss guy. Let me know." Man, it was so good. I'm like, I can't believe like people come up with this shit.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Have you done much like traveling and stuff in your life?
No, I've like Vegas a couple times. I've been to Florida once or twice I think. But like I want to go to Europe at some point. I really want to go to Chernobyl. That's like my bucket list.
That'd be insane.
I think I convinced Tia for our honeymoon we're gonna do Europe, but I'm like we're only going if I can see Auschwitz and we can see Chernobyl.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I always tell like there's Winnipeg's Finest podcast, but they're getting a little PC for me.
Yeah, they're having way more like political people. And,
not even just political people, but like all like a ton of it is like all the Black Lives Matter guests and like the cancel culture stuff like that. Where to me it's not boring, but like
I go to podcasts for entertainment.
Yeah, I don't need to hear them. I don't need to hear about like the movements of what's going on, you know. And I hate. It sounds so insensitive to say that, but like
We see it everywhere else.
I always joke around that like I'm a white guy in 2020 and I'm the enemy, so I shouldn't be.
No, that's true, man.
I'm not allowed to have an opinion in these days.
Yeah.
But no,
we definitely have to be way more like cautious.
Oh, dude, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
My dad, like I had a buddy's dad that always joked around. He goes, "Hey, you're a white kid in 2020. You're the worst person alive." I'm like, "Hey, I know."
We're the minority.
We're slowly turning into that, eh? That's funny. That's a funny way to look at that.
It's pretty true.
But on it, like we would have guests back and forth, but now we've kind of just done this.
Separated it.
But like I've known so many people that like just they like, "Oh, I listen to your podcast. I'm gonna have them on mine." I'm like, okay. But like I've had people ask like, "Do you mind?" I'm like, what do you mean? Do I mind?
Live in
like
the same city. This is just another.
It's just how it works out, man. Like Andre's doing the same thing. Like we're gonna have we're all three of us are gonna have overlap. Like
of course.
But it's not the same. It's always like I think I said it to you. They're not better podcasts. They're just different podcasts.
Yeah, it's a different approach, different technique, different everything.
Because mine's different from everyone else's, but I've worked on making it different, right?
Yeah, you make it your own.
But then if you did a weekly show, dropped it Sunday nights, and like had it as like a style like this, I'd be like, okay, like maybe pick.
You're biting it a little bit.
Maybe pick a different night. Yeah. But no, but it's so hard to have like I picked Sunday night because I respect Winnipeg's Finest and they have Mondays.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, I'll do Sunday. And Sunday's easy for me. I can start the upload on YouTube in the morning. It takes 19 hours to do it.
Oh, shit.
And then it's so slow. So I start it in the morning and then by the time it uploads, like I can schedule it and make it.
When I try to upload here, it takes like 9 hours, but we'll go to Nona's work and it takes like 2 hours. Not even.
Like it's not like my Wi-Fi's bad.
Yeah, I have great internet. It's just for some reason doesn't.
But also like I don't know what your file sizes are, but it's not like my Max Wins one will be like a 14 gigabyte of video.
Usually they're pretty big because with the editing, adding all the effects. And
I don't know why it's so big because someone told me on Adobe they're like tiny videos.
Yeah.
You can make them really small.
The project file is
something
small.
like that. Yeah. But whatever. But that's why like I have to upload a video and then delete it right away.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise I have no space on my Mac.
Yeah.
But I have a hard drive, like a terabyte, but I don't trust the everything works so poorly with Mac.
Yeah.
Like I plug it in and then all of a sudden like all the files are wrong. I'm like, oh fuck, there goes 4 episodes down the tubes. And, especially when I want to try and do like IGTVs and stuff.
Oh yeah, true.
I was hoping when I tagged Adam22 in yours, I was hoping he would have liked it or something.
Oh yeah, he's like viewed my stories and stuff that I've tagged him in before.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Pretty cool.
But no, I was hoping he would have mentioned it or something. But fuck, whatever.
Well, man, you got to plug yourself in. Let everybody know where to find you.
All right, so Wesley Studios on Instagram. Sorry, I'm just, again, that's a Dalia thing. Like, again, just sitting so disrespectfully.
Just be comfortable. Yeah, disrespect.
Disrespectful. But no, so Wesley Studios on Instagram, one word. New episodes every Sunday night, usually around 9 p.m. By the time you're listening to this, I think Max Wins will be up, and then I'll probably have maybe 1 or 2 guests in between there, but I'm not sure because everyone's schedule changes weekly.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I literally looked at it now. I'm like, oh, all those numbers are wrong. And then my personal Instagram's Denzel _, but I don't really give a shit about that one so much. Whiskey Tango, every new episode every Wednesday. Just like, download, subscribe, share, leave reviews if you're feeling inclined, but mostly just subscribe on YouTube is. Oh fuck!
Did you see that?
Yeah, I was. Oh, it's still going.
Oh shit!
Great, we talked about Annabelle, and now we're all fucked.
And it's all recorded.
Is it really?
It's all documented.
Give me that as a clip.
Yeah.
Give me that as a clip. Follow this. Subscribe on YouTube is the big one because the sooner I can get to 1,000 episodes, I think 1,000 subscribers, I start making money now.
Yeah, that's when you can get monetized.
Well, because it's 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of hours watched.
10,000 watch hours.
But I think like. I must be pretty close to 10,000 watched hours.
Oh, for sure.
I have 106 episodes and they're all an hour to 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Like I must be pretty close to that.
Man, even I was like getting up there because it has a little gauge bar.
Oh, really?
Like, I was getting up there.
Actually, I can look at it right now. Hold on.
Well, I remember only seeing it on the computer. I don't know if
Do you have the app YT Studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I use for like my analytics.
Yeah.
Everything down and seeing what to change.
I think total views. I think I had like something like 14 or 15,000 total views. Man, it's tough to get people over to your YouTube, man.
Yeah.
No, that's that one. View more analytics. Okay, so I am at up 17 subscribers in the last month. That's pretty cool.
Nice. I tried to share as much as I could, because pretty much all of my following for the podcast is on YouTube, so they're all subscribing.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, like, you guys subscribe to people, like, you should subscribe.
I don't even give a shit if you guys watch it. Just hit the button.
Yeah.
Like, hit the button and just ignore it if you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just let me hit the button. Like, YouTube just cares about 10000.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about too.
Yeah. That's very true, man.
50 views gives me like $1.50, so fuck it, I'm in.
That's all we need. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for having me on. This is fun being a guest. Fun being a guest rather than a host.
Yeah. It's definitely like, it's a game changer.
It's relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what's kind of, I always think too, like with my Whiskey Tango, like it's nice having a co-host.
Yeah,
because sometimes like if like there's been weeks where like it's his idea, so I really try and make him drive a lot of the show.
Yeah.
Because I'm like more like the editor and stuff on that one.
Yeah.
But there's some weeks where like I have nothing and he just carries the show, and it's so nice to just sit there and be like,
you just kind of give your two cents whenever
put it on autopilot and then
Yeah.
just figure it out after that. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's nice having a co-host, and then being a guest is also fucking sweet.
Yeah. Well, no, we should definitely we'll do another episode.
Oh yeah, once you get your shit together and get these things out weekly.
Yeah. No, man. Thanks for coming down, though.
Absolutely.
And yeah, keep an eye out for all the new Wesley Studios stuff coming out.
Gang.
And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
I have such a bad sign out too.